What's up, everybody? My name is O'Cally. I was diagnosed with AIDS in 2023. I contracted it from my ex-husband, who found out he was positive in 2017 and did not tell me. That's a crazy way to start an intro, right? Well, yes, that is what happened. I did recently just go on my friend's podcast and talk about it, but I did kind of want to come on my own platform here and kind of like, be more, you know, intimate with y'all and getting y'all face and, answer any questions that y'all may have, etc. And it's crazy because I honestly didn't intend to share that with anybody. And it wasn't because I was ashamed because, the stigma of HIV and everything like that. It was more so because I was still saving him, which is crazy to say, but yes, I was still saving him. Both his parents had just passed away within like a year of each other. And my family is crazy. And I didn't want his family to be like all, worried that, something's going to happen to him and saving him like a dumbass. But yes, in 2024, I got the phone call from my doctor just pretty much telling me like, hey, you're HIV positive. And it's crazy because I had just got done visiting one of my friends who passed away that same day that I found out that I had HIV. So when I got the call and my doctor said, like, you're HIV positive, y'all know how like in movies they say like the room goes silent? It literally like felt like the room went completely silent. And my ex-husband was the only male that I have ever been with. So I was just like in shock because I'm like, all these stars start rushing through your head like, what the fuck? So like I immediately go home. Like I said, the sushi place that we were at, it was like 3 minutes away from my house, like legit, right on the corner. I run up the stairs, I tell him, blah, blah, I'm like, I'm HIV positive, like, I'm like, did you cheat? Like, because you're the only man I've ever been with. No, I never cheated, yada, 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 of course. So I just chopped it up to the fact of him and I both never got tested. So it was like, I can't really like, in this moment, can't say like, oh, it's your fault, like, blah, 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 whatever. So fast forward, I'm like, bro, you need to take an at-home test just to see, like, if you're HIV positive. And he does. He takes an at-home test, and of course, he is HIV positive because duh. Okay, so boom. So then I get a form from my doctor to call the specialist to make appointments for my ex-husband and I. I call the place, I give them my information, then I give them his information, and then they say, hey, that person's information is on our system. Now, I don't think that they were supposed to tell me that, to be honest, but maybe they were because I did say that he was my husband at the time. And they just relayed the information. But like when she said it, she's like, yeah, so we can make the appointments. So we make the appointments. Here comes appointment day. We go to the appointments. Like, we're in there. He kind of is behind me. And like his appointment was after mine's. But I was like, we can just go together. Like, this is my husband, blah, blah, whatever. But they still put us in like, we were still in the same room. And the nurse comes in. One of the nurses come in. I'm guessing, she didn't really know him. So then another nurse comes in, and this nurse is like, "Oh, you look familiar." Like she's like looking at him like, "I know you. Don't you get seen here?" So in that moment, I looked at him like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, why are they saying that they know you, right?" Now, the reason why he was able to like hide this, I guess, is because in 20, like around 2017, in that range, him and I split. We had split for a year in 2016. He came back and then like I'm looking at him, I'm like, bro, your hair's falling out. Like he had bald spots on his hair and shit. And I told him to go to the doctors. He came back, he told me it was alopecia. Alopecia? Oh, where's your hair? Let me stop playing. So that's one of the reasons why, like, when we went to this doctor, like, I didn't really like question anything, right? So then when the other nurse comes in, and I'm like, how do these nurses know you, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like, it can't be because of that. So then I just start flashing. Okay, y'all, I wasn't trying to make these videos that long, but of course I'm going to have to. So just come back for part 2, if it's posted today. Just come back for part 2. My bad, y'all. Okay, y'all, so this is part 2 to how I found out that my ex-husband kept the fact that he had HIV from me and gave me AIDS. Okay, so like I said, we were both in a room, and then that's when the nurses start saying, like, yo, I know you. Like, they pretty much were telling me like they knew who he was. So like I said, I'm going off on him because he keeps acting like he don't know what the fuck they talking about. They end up separating us. Then the actual specialist comes in and she's talking to me and, you know, she's trying to calm me down and everything like that. She finally gets me calmed down, and then she starts going over my blood work, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going over your blood work, and I'm not sure if they kind of talked to you about it before because the blood work was from my doctor, my actual like my primary doctor." And I was like, "Kind of, not really. He just told me like, you know, I was HIV positive." And she was like, "Well, your numbers are really low, so your cell count, I think it's like T cell count or whatever, is supposed to be at like in the 5s or whatever. Mine's was 10." And I'm like, "Okay, what does that mean?" She's like, "Well, that means you have AIDS." And I'm just like, what the fuck, you know? I'm like getting teary-eyed and everything like that, crying, and I'm just like, this shit can't be real. Like, this is not real life. And it was like that feeling all over again that I felt in the restaurant, till like the room went silent, y'all. And to know me is to know that I am not a person that cries. Like, I legit don't cry at all. But I just started fucking bawling in this moment. Because, you know, at the time, I'm like not educated. So I'm thinking like, bitch, you're gonna die. Like, you're dead. You're dead. So eventually him and I get back in the car. And I'm just going off on him. And I didn't hit him, y'all. Like, I wanted to punch this man so fucking bad. But I didn't. I did not. I restrained. I know a lot of people like, I would be in jail, blah, blah. And y'all, I went to jail once when I was like 18 years old. And I vowed not to ever go to jail again. But I wanted to beat this man ass so bad. But I just couldn't do it. I don't like no 3 hots in the cot. Baby, I like to take at least 2 showers a day and have a good old meal. So we're like in the car or whatever. And I'm just going off on him. And I'm just like, bro, like, you literally took an at-home test. I was like, you took an at-home test and you had the option to tell me in that moment, but you still went and spent $60 to take an at-home test, knowing that it was going to be positive. I'm like, what the fuck? And we were like, before we even went to the doctors, we were calling like my friends and stuff together and like, you know, letting them know and stuff like that. Just before I found out that he had already knew that he was positive, calling my friends and just letting them know, like, you know, we're HIV positive. Cause like, I'm an open person. Like, I'm not like, what you say is what the fuck you get. I'm with me. I don't care at all. You know what I mean? So like, these are my close friends. So I want them to know. And like, we're calling them and like, let them know. And like, and I'm just like, bruh, like, you did all of that just to know that the doctor that we went to, you already went to, and you still didn't feel like you could have told me in that moment. That just makes you think like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know, what did I do wrong that you feel like you couldn't come to me as my husband and let me know that you were HIV positive? I'm in the car with him and I'm crying. I still haven't hit this man, y'all. Like, I know, y'all, everybody felt like I would have beat his ass. And I'm just like, bro, like, when your parents passed away, I literally, like, I made sure, like, your family hit you up, like, my friends hit you up just to, like, take you out. And I'm just like, bro, the whole time, like, you're going through it, I'm putting life into you and you're laying next to me, taking it away from me. You're not saying anything. Like, you know what's going on and you're not saying nothing. What are we doing? So I definitely made him, in that moment, call his sister, tell her, because he's a fucking liar, so I knew he probably wouldn't even tell her. I don't know if he told his family yet or not. I mean, I already made a video on YouTube, like, for my podcast, and I posted it, so, and some of them follow me, so I'm pretty sure they've seen it. But I made him call his sister in that moment, because I didn't want him to kind of, like, pin it on me, or, like, whatever the case may be as to why him and I were no longer together. But, yeah. That is pretty much how I found out, how it happened. There's a lot more that I can talk about, you know, people want to know, like, signs and symptoms or whatever, and then I can tell you about the shit that I got afterwards, after finding out that I have AIDS because my immune system was so fucking low. But yeah, welcome to my life. Hey y'all, so sorry, I have been at work all day, so I'm responding late to like a lot of y'all comments and questions. But I want to say thank y'all for the love and everything like that. But this person asked, did you get tested because you were feeling sick originally? And yes, that is why I got tested. I was going to the doctors like a lot. And one of the doctors, I did a telehealth doctor. She was like, I suggest you get tested for HIV. And she put in the work to the doctor that I went to that tested me. I'm gonna see if I can insert some of the like photos of like the signs and symptoms that I had. Okay, so my leg looked like this. I had like this rash here. That was like one of the signs. Okay, and I have no idea how to stop the music. Okay, so that was a video on my arm. I do not know how to use TikTok like that, y'all. So I don't know how to mute the video, but that was like a video that I had a rash like all the way up my arm. Okay. And then this next video that I'm about to show y'all, it is a little bit grossness. Just for like a disclaimer for TikTok. But yeah. Oh yeah, this is my leg. You know, like all these little things. I don't know, like I say, nasty as hell. But yeah, so those are some of the signs and symptoms that I did have. Other than that, you guys, my throat hurt so much. Like, you know those little Chloraseptic cough drops and the Chloraseptic spray? I literally would have to use that to eat or drink anything. Like, I could not go home without it. And I did get sores kind of like on my tongue as well, but I don't have any pictures or anything like that. But yeah, those were like most of like the warning signs. With my throat, they thought I had cancer at first, so they had me go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor. Mind you, this man paid for this stuff too. Wow, he already knew what was going on with him. But yeah, those are the signs and symptoms that I had. If y'all have any more questions, drop them down below.